Welcome, Billy.
Hi.
I am Tanita, one of the case managers here at Bright Star, and I'm going to do an assessment with you today. Have you ever had an assessment done before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'll tell you a little bit about what happens. In an assessment, I am going to ask you what probably feels like a lot of questions, and a lot of them will be personal, and some of them may even cause you to feel uncomfortable. But at any point, if you're feeling that way, you just let me know, and we can either work through it or you can take a moment and we can come back to it. I'll just kind of go by what you want to answer there. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, well, before we begin, I just want to let you know that as part of my responsibility, I will always treat you with dignity and respect, and I'll always listen to your story fully. And I understand that in developing a therapeutic relationship, that it requires openness um, and just um, building trust.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, I want you to know that whatever we talk about here will remain confidential. I will not share your information and what we talk about with anyone who does not have a need to know or have a right to know unless you give me your written consent. And however, there are times that may require me to disclose that information. And so that's just kind of something you need to know if in an instance such as you let me know that there's a child at risk of being harmed, or you yourself are at risk of harm, or you're thinking about harming someone else. Those are cases that I would have to report that to the appropriate authorities. And is that something you understand and you're okay with?
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. I understand that.
Okay, good. I also want to let you know that my working hours are Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. So, at any point that if we're working together and you need to talk to me, have any questions, feel free to call me during those times. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Sound good?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, well, we're going to get started and just dive right into some of these questions here.
Okay.
Okay, and if, again, at any point you're feeling uncomfortable, you just let me know and we'll take a minute and work through it.
I appreciate it.
Okay, Billy, so, and it is Billy, right?
Yeah, that's what I go by. My name's John William, but my middle name's William, but that's what I'm
Okay.
go by as Billy.
So you prefer Billy?
I do, yeah.
And it's okay that I call you Billy during our time together?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I prefer that.
Okay, sounds good. Now, Billy, what's your date of birth?
May 19th, 1972.
Okay. So that makes you what age, Billy?
49.
49.
Yeah.
Okay. So next year is going to be a big year for you, huh?
Yeah, it is going to be a big one. Yeah, I don't know where that time went, but yeah, I'll be 50 next year. So.
Yeah, time flies by.
Yes, it does.
It does. Okay, Billy, so as I said, I'm glad you're here today, but I would like to know what brought you in today. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, it's hard to describe really. I don't know if it's depression or frustration or what's going on, but I just can't seem to get it together, and I'm not very happy. I hate my job. Things are okay at home. I don't really have much complaints there. I just can't keep myself motivated to do anything.
Can you tell me a little bit about how long you've been feeling this way?
Honestly, since I was probably 13.
That's a long time, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Now, it hasn't always been that severe, and it's had times where I felt better at times, and um, but yeah, I'd say for some reason, whatever happened when I was in middle school, that's when I started feeling sad a lot and stuff like that. So kind of distant, not really engaged in much, activity, and I don't know, just didn't feel. I think that's what it is. You just don't feel like yourself anymore. So
And that's hard when you don't feel like yourself. Kind of makes you, I would imagine, feel out of sorts.
yeah,
Would you
yeah.
say you feel that way? Maybe.
So much so that it ends up becoming the norm, and you don't remember really how you are anymore because you spend so many years being a certain way that becomes the new normal. So, but I've got to the point now I don't want it to be the normal anymore. I wanna somehow, if it's possible, feel better.
Well, 13. That's a long time to kind of feel that way. So, can you describe to me how you've been coping?
Well, in my younger years, like I said, I'm 49 now. In my younger years, I got into drinking alcohol a lot to cope, and I had that was a real problem for me for a lot of years. I started, I guess, at 15. That's a guess. Never messed with a lot of the drugs. I tried cocaine and marijuana and sedatives and some stuff like that here and there, but really it was alcohol. So I was drinking, 5, 6, even 7 days a week. So,
How that make you feel drinking?
uh, well, good when I was drinking, but next day I'd feel terrible and I'd feel guilty because I got, went overboard, did, made a lot of foolish decisions and just did a lot of stupid stuff when I was drunk. So, I stopped drinking when I was 22, June 11th of '94, and I had what was a series of nervous breakdowns, I guess you'd say, and um, I was drinking and just started having terrible panic attacks, and that got me away from drinking. So I guess that was a blessing in disguise. So that stopped all my drinking and stuff. But the depression or whatever it is, I don't know if it's depression or what it is has continued.
Okay, so you've discontinued drinking. You
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, are there other ways that you are currently coping? Are you
I'd say I survive more than I cope. I
okay?
don't. Just hoping each day is not a real bad day. Medications has helped some. Um, I've never found anything that like makes it everything okay. There's no happy pills out there that just makes all the problems go away or anything. But it is whatever Zoloft is. They put me on that. That seems to help some, but doesn't seem to be enough.
Okay, so you find that medications help some,
Yeah.
but you're finding that you still need additional help.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the greatest, in your current state of depression, where do you feel you fall on that scale?
At least a solid 8.
Okay, and do you feel like your current state of depression is, how long has that been going on?
This episode's probably been 2 months. That's a guess, but that's probably pretty close.
Okay. Is there how long do the episodes typically last? If that's
But it's hard to tell because they kind of, I don't know what the word is, they kind of go into each other, but there's not much of a lull between them, but probably maybe 4 months. Sometimes 2 months, sometimes 4 months. It varies. But they last for a while, and then I'll feel better for a little while, and then nothing really happens. I'll just start feeling bad again. So
so
really
It-
distant from people, and not much of a. I don't interact. I have no interest in things.
okay. So can you recall instances that that may lead to depression, or you're feeling depressed?
Sometimes and sometimes not. I know my mom died last year, and that brought on some. Um, we were really close. We're for I'll say for a long time. We've always been really close, and so that really triggered some things. Got, like I said, more and more upset with work. Um, I do carpentry work, and it just feels so unfulfilling. But so that's probably maybe has something to do with something. But um, I don't have a lot of friendships. I got one friend that I talk to once in a while, but other than that, I don't have much of a, I don't know, a lot in the way of friends or activities or anything.
Okay. So sounds like your mom was a really big part
Mm-hmm.
of your life, and losing her is has a lot to do with this episode of depression.
I'd say so, yeah.
And you're not really having friends is kind of plays into that as well.
Yeah.
How do you think you feel if you had friends or someone to talk to?
Well, I always thought it'd be nice not to have a ton of friends, but more than one would be really nice, I would think. But then sometimes I think, well, gosh, then I got to entertain people all the time. So I don't know. I would like to be more socially active, to be a part of a group. That would be. I think that would be interesting. I think I would like that. Have more support in that way.
What do you think would be different if you had more friendships, or closer friendships, even if not a lot, but one or two close
Maybe.
friendships?
Maybe I would feel less alone. More support, more people to talk to about things.
So it sounds like friends would really help you not to feel so alone,
Yeah.
kind of help you get through some
Right.
of,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. Okay, let's and we'll track back to some of that
Okay.
as well. So let's talk a little bit about family history. Can you tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up in your family?
It's hard to describe. It was a lot of chaos. Mom and Dad were always together. They never divorced or anything. But I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister. But really, my one brother was closest to me in age. My oldest brother and sister were about 10 years older than me, so it was more like just me and my middle brother. most of my life. But Mom had a lot of emotional problems. She had a lot of breakdowns and angry a lot. Dad was angry a lot. They were both often violent a lot and abusive. So, but Christmas time was really nice. That was a really special time of year. So it wasn't always all bad. There were times I knew my parents loved me. There was just all this mess that was in the way of them expressing it. I guess in having healthy parenting skills. I don't know what you call that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what the chaos looked like for you?
Well, Mom would get upset about something and complain to Dad, and then Dad would take it out on us. And Mom would jump in, and everything would get blamed on us. Their unhappiness and everything was our fault. And, so it was very traumatic, and you never knew when they were going to get angry. And so you did I guess you did what you had to do to keep them from getting mad a lot. So I don't know how that affected me, but it's kind of a survival thing. You learn how to survive in chaos like that.
When you say survive, can you describe how you survived? What would you do? Can you describe?
Well, you become very in tune with people's feelings. You know when somebody's, by the way their voice is or how its pitch is, whether they're going to get upset or something, because then that'll likely lead to violence. And so you try to wash the dishes more or do things to try to keep people from being upset. I don't like people being upset. It's even to this day, it's people being mad or upset's very hard for me.
So it sounds like you're very aware of sounds and what's happening around you, how people are behaving, how the tones of their voice, and
yeah, that's true.
and you feel like that still has an impact on you today.
Yeah, it does, very much so.
Okay. Can you describe a little bit about what discipline was like? I know you mentioned your dad being a little abusive, but tell me a little bit about what discipline looked like.
Well, I guess they might use the word discipline, but it was more abuse. Discipline is to teach a lesson, to instruct. Punishment is just to inflict anguish on someone else. So that's what it was more like, was punishment.
So it was more like,
I'm gonna teach these kids something without teaching them anything. It's like I said, teaching's for discipline. You don't teach anything when you just get a board and start smacking a kid with a piece of wood.
so with his form of discipline, you say it's more like abuse.
It was violent.
So what did you learn from that?
That people can be very hurtful and scary and harmful, and people that you love can hurt you a lot.
Sounds like that was traumatic for you, and it still carries some trauma.
Yeah. Like I said, anymore, it's been so long, I don't know how much it affects me, but I'd probably, I guess, be foolish if I thought it didn't affect me in some way now today. So.
Sure. Well, you did mention that there was chaos, there was mess, but even in that, there were some happy times. You mentioned Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it was like during Christmas?
Oh, it's great. Mom would decorate the whole house up. And a lot of people back then decorated, but not like Mom. Every room in the house was decorated decorated the windows, all the furniture, the tables were all done up real nice. There was Christmas music on, smell of stuff baking, candles going with, like evergreen smell. Mom used fresh evergreen roping to do her um, pieces in the window or whatever. She'd used real life stuff so the house smelled like a evergreen forest, so it was quite nice. Yeah, and they were generally in a better mood during that time of year. So even now, I always look forward to Christmas time because it reminds me of reprieve from life's the nastiness of life, I guess.
So those were good times for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you mentioned you're being really close to your mom,
Mm-hmm.
but how about other significant relationships? Any other significant relationships that you can tell me about?
In the past?
Current.
Currently. Well, I'm married. My wife and I like to think that we're pretty close. More than I've been married before, but this is the best relationship I've ever been in. So that's one area of my life. If you're talking about things that are really going well, that's one area that's going really well.
Describe what makes this marriage, the best one that you've been in.
Man, it's healthy. It's we talk and we help each other to grow. And I guess just communicating. Whereas before in other marriages, I don't know if I really didn't even have the desire, but there's something about her that just makes me want to try more in the relationships. I put more effort into it, and she's really supportive. She's great.
Any children?
I have 2 children from previous marriages. Aaron, who's almost 18, Olivia's 24, and I have a pretty good relationship with both of them. Of course, they don't live at home anymore, but I talk to them frequently.
What does your episodes of depression, can you tell me how that impacts the relationship with the ones you are close with, your wife and your children?
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure it affects them. Used to more so. Now that the kids are older, I found it easier to be able to talk with them. I don't know, your kids become friends in some ways. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a support. But I know growing up and stuff while my kids were growing up, it was. I'm sure it's hard for them when I go through depressive states. I wouldn't really be there for them. I mean, they would have food and stuff, but I was distant and not really engaged in their what was going on in their lives. So.
Okay, but you feel like things are different now with them, your children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me a bit about your current home situation? I know you said that your children don't live there, but can you tell me a little bit about what the current home situation is like?
I'm not sure what to say. Of course, my wife and I live together, and her daughter, my stepdaughter, lives with us. She's 28 or 29, I can't remember, but we all get along pretty well. I'm more distant from them than they would probably like me to be. I keep to myself a lot. It's not that I don't have things to say. I've got a lot of things I feel and things I just don't express it very much. But as far as just getting along and things, we get along really well, and I love them very much. I know they love me.
Can you describe how you feel when you're at home?
I feel comfortable in my room. Yeah. I don't feel comfortable around people a lot.
Can you describe what's so comfortable about your room? What makes you so comfortable about your room?
Well, what's most comfortable is it's just me in there. So that's, no having to establish or continue or develop relationships or anything. It's just easy, but not very productive, I will say.
So it's comfortable for you, but it sounds like you may even find that that may not be the healthiest
Yeah,
thing for you.
yeah. I'd say that's true.
Okay, that's honest.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and we're going to move into your educational history. So
Okay.
we'll talk about maybe grade school into college, see what kind of comes up. So what was it like? Can you tell me what it was like for you in school?
School was actually pretty good up until middle school. My grades were pretty good, A's and B's, and I had lots of friends. And then middle school happened, kind of was distant, and didn't have a place to really fit in. And high school was really bad. And my grades in middle school started to decline, and that's when Mom got real bad and her emotional, mental problems and stuff. So. Wasn't involved in any activities, ended up getting around the wrong crowd and started smoking cigarettes and drinking at a young age. And I barely graduated high school. I was in summer school every year of high school just to get enough credits to be able to graduate. I barely graduated. So. And then I've had a lot of jobs after that and ended up getting in construction. So.
Now you mentioned you weren't really a part of school activities.
Mm-hmm.
Was that none at all, or none through no activities in high school?
No, not really. I played guitar. Did enjoy doing that. I do that alone in my room a lot at home, and I kind of lose myself away playing guitar. But I didn't do anything with it. There was a talent show every year I'd get involved in, but otherwise I didn't do any school activities around music. So I just didn't. I didn't have the grades to do sports or anything because my grades were terrible. So you can't participate in activities if your grades are terrible.
So through up until you got into middle school, you mentioned you had friends and things were going pretty cool and your grades were well, and then entering into middle school, there were no friends. Can you tell me about any difficulties you may have had making friends?
I don't know if I had difficulty. I had a few friends, but I just didn't. I got to an age where I realized I didn't fit in anywhere. Yeah.
Can you tell me about how that felt?
Awkward and uncomfortable. Felt isolating.
Did you have any trouble focusing in class?
In starting middle school, I did. I'd stare out the window a lot, thinking about problems and what's wrong with me and what was going on. And so, yeah, I was never disruptive, really. Well, I was in high school somewhat. I'd goof off in class, but that was more to get attention. But yeah, I started to become really distant, not paying attention to what the teacher was saying, and a lot of times just staring out the window. I'd intentionally get seats near the window so I could stare out the window.
Can you tell me why it was important to have a seat by the window to stare out?
Staring outside would take me away from what was going on, I guess. Maybe inside the classroom, I was not real interested in history and science and stuff when so much stuff was going on at home.
So when it took you away, where would it take you?
I don't know. I don't know if it took me anywhere. I was just trying to solve problems or figure out what was going on with me.
Tell me a little bit about college.
I tried it a few times, but it didn't really work out. Just couldn't really find my place or of any interest. I often thought of going back to school. I thought about becoming a teacher, but you know, it's so later in life now. I don't know if I want to go back, and what would I do about work and stuff.
So it sounds like you want to teach. You'd like to be able to teach, but maybe don't feel like you are able to fulfill that dream.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. Yeah. I hate my work.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I build mostly decks, outside structures, gazebos, that stuff. I finish an occasional basement here and there for folks, but yeah, all that entails drywall and framing and electrical, all that stuff. So,
And you say you hate that work.
well, it provides an income, but I feel like I'm not being put to my utmost capacity. You know, it's like I could be doing so much more with my life than that.
Can you tell me a little bit about what more you think you could be doing?
Well, I want to be able to help people. I mean, I help them by building things for them, I guess, but I want to be able to work with helping, you know, kids and, you know, and like in a teaching setting in some sense, be able to help people more directly. Yeah.
Okay. So kind of back to that wanting to teach,
Yeah.
but not feeling quite like you can step away from what you're doing in
Right.
order to.
Yeah.
Well, I know we've talked a little bit about work. Can you talk to me about like responsibilities that you have at work? I know you build decks, and but what do your responsibilities look like? Can you tell me about that?
Well, I gotta do everything basically. I gotta deal with all the customers and write up all the proposals and get all the material list together, and you know, keep my contracts with 84 Lumber and stuff to get my materials and make sure I get the deliveries and actually do all the work. And I have two guys that work for me, so. But it's pretty much a small program, so small outfit we have.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about behavioral health, and I know you mentioned earlier that you started smoking cigarettes pretty early, and you drank alcohol. You started that pretty early, and can you tell me a little more about that? Your experiences with drugs and alcohol?
I smoked cigarettes for about 25 years. I eventually quit, but yeah, did that 2 packs a day for many years. And I drank for several years pretty consistently. I just experimented with other stuff, but mostly it was just alcohol. I say just alcohol, not that wasn't enough, but I drank more than enough. But yeah, that was pretty bad for several years.
Tell me about what kind of alcohol.
It started off with beer mostly, then it would end up to Jim Beam.
And Jim
Whiskey.
Beam is okay. Whiskey.
Or bourbon, actually, so. I have Jim Beam and Coke.
Can you tell me about any previous mental health issues? I know what brought you here today is depression. Can you tell me or describe any other past?
Well, I've been in the hospital twice for suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. I was in there for, well, 2 back-to-back episodes and then another time for about a week for, like I said, having suicidal thoughts all the time. And that's been a number of years ago, 10, 15 years ago. But yeah, Mom had a lot of those problems too, and I think Dad had a lot of depression too. I ought to think about it. A lot of people, my siblings and stuff, I think a lot of it's going through my family.
Tell me about any past or previous treatments you've had for the mental health issues.
Well, there's treatments in the hospital. I've had a few, not psychiatrists, but primary care physicians give me Zoloft. I've tried a couple other ones, but that one seemed to work better than any of the other ones have. Yeah, the Zolofts work pretty good. Never really tried therapy though.
You mentioned your mom, your dad, and siblings all having episodes of depression, experiencing depression. Can you describe what that was like growing up?
Very sad, very lonely, very yeah, sad and lonely, I guess. Yeah, that's what it was like. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your health, your current health?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm a little overweight. I've got high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I take medications for both of those in addition to the Zoloft. Otherwise, I don't have any medical issues or any other problems.
Tell me about your sleeping habits. How are they?
That varies too. Depends on how my depression is. It's I go to sleep okay, but it's really restless sleep, so I often wake up feeling really tired. A lot of bad dreams and stuff like that, nightmares and stuff. So, though I get, if you looked at it like hour-wise, I get plenty of rest, but I wake up really tired. It's just not restful sleep, I guess.
Okay. Can you describe any struggles you might have with your diet?
I don't eat good at all.
You don't eat well at all.
I eat a lot of carbs and a lot of sugar substances and sugary drinks and stuff like that. Very little water and very little vegetables and stuff. So my diet's terrible.
Is that something you'd like to change?
I'd like to be healthier, but I like eating what I eat though, obviously. So it's I'm I guess you'd call half motivated.
Can you describe what that does for you and eating the carbs and the sugars?
What it does for me?
Mhm.
Well, I guess there's maybe maybe I just enjoy it. I guess I like sweets and sugar stuff. Um, I don't know. I've never really thought about it too much.
Can you describe how that might play into your depression, or is there some? Do you find that you eat more sugar when you're depressed? Like, is your diet?
I don't know if it plays into my depression. I don't know about that, but I will say the worse I feel, the more sugar stuff I eat. So as far as the drinks and stuff, that's constant. Though, whether no matter how I'm feeling, I always drink sweet tea or sodas.
Okay. We're gonna move into legal issues, if there are any. Can you tell me about any encounters you may have had with the law or law enforcement?
I probably should have had a few DUIs in my day. I never got any, but I drove drunk several times. Well, more than several times, quite often actually. But I've never been arrested or charged with anything. That's one thing that's kind of clear on my. I don't have any record of any type. No, like I said, no arrests, no probation, none of that kind of stuff. So
Okay, sounds like we can just move right along then.
yeah, there's not much to say there. That's a good thing too. I'm glad I
Okay.
don't have any history in that regard. So
That is a good thing.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about socially. Can you tell me a little about what you do for fun?
Watch TV. Once in a while, I've got a board game group. I like playing board games. I'll play. I'll go there, but I haven't been doing that as much lately. I used to play disc golf, but I wasn't real good at that, and I'm kind of competitive, so I've kind of lost interest in that. Yeah.
Can you fill me in on what may interest you currently, even mildly, other than TV?
Well, there's board games. I do enjoy those. I like collecting them as well too. So I've always been a collector though. Just never had the money for it, but something about collecting things, which is interesting for me because I don't like a lot of stuff in the house, but something about collecting sets or kits or things really, I like that a lot. So
What makes the difference in collecting things that are in boxes like the board games opposed to having other things stored around?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that.
Are there any other social things that you do?
No, not really. I take a walk every once in a while. My wife and I play tennis on occasion. She would like to play more, but like I said, I have trouble with motivation and getting myself up to do most of anything. You know, it's one of those things you just don't feel good, which is most of the time you don't feel like doing anything. But in my mind, there's a part of me that would like to be doing more.
Can you tell me about any cultural or religious concerns you might have?
No, I mean, I'm definitely a very spiritual person. Guess you could say I'm a Christian. Um, I don't go to church. I don't really care for church that much, but um, or most organized religions for that matter. I don't. Just something about them I'm kind of have a adversity to. So, but I think there's a lot of good that comes out of them too. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It'd be nice to have find a group of people that have similar beliefs like I do. But I wouldn't know where that would be. So
Let's. Hmm. Tell me about. Tell me about when you feel most successful at something. When do you feel most successful?
when I complete a project, yeah, or something I complete at work. I haven't felt a lot of success in my life. I've completed a bunch of things. I know that doesn't sounds like I'm going against what I just said, but I don't I just don't feel that a lot in my life. Not a lot of success.
So you do feel successful when you're completing projects.
Yeah, but completions are few and far between. Most of life's in the work, not in the completing of it. So I don't feel successful like on a day in day out basis.
Can you describe what success feels like when you complete a
It's
project?
a sense of accomplishment. Feel good about myself.
Can you describe other times that you feel proud?
No, no, I don't. I just don't feel that. I mean, I'm proud of my kids, but I don't think a lot of their success and stuff has anything to do with me. I think they've done well despite me. So
Can you describe your greatest strength?
um, my greatest strengths. I am. I'm really good at a lot of different things. I don't know what that is. My abilities and stuff. So guitar and making stuff and solving problems and all that kind of stuff. So seems like a lot of things I do. I'm not awesome at it, but I'm pretty good at it. So whatever you call that.
Can you tell me about areas you feel you can be stronger in?
Parenting. Never was really pleased with my parenting. Didn't feel like I was there for him a lot of times. Um, better partner to my wife. I could do a better job with that. I'd like to be a better provider. And I guess that's about it.
Can you tell me about any areas you feel you have a difficult time with?
That's just about everything. If we're being honest. Yeah, especially social stuff and having friends and that kind of stuff. I have a difficult time with that. I'm a pretty shy person. Yeah.
Can you tell me about a time where you initiated friendship?
Oh gosh, I don't know that I have. They just seem to happen. I can't say I really initiated anything.
Okay. Well, that's kind of the end of the assessment, and
Am I cured?
I would like to say yes, but this again is just the assessment. It is our the start of the process.
Okay.
So we are gonna, if you'd like to continue, then we'll definitely put some resources in place for you that I believe can help you.
Okay.
Okay, well, Billy, I want to thank you for taking the initial step of calling and coming in to see us today. It was a pleasure meeting you. I know just taking the first step can be a challenge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I applaud you for doing that. I know it can be really difficult going through periods of depression and feeling pretty lonely, like you don't have anyone to talk to or any friends to turn to, and just kind of feeling like you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But wanting to feel better, not knowing what to do. So, again, I'm glad you came in to see us. I think this is a really good start. And we do have things in place here at Bright Star. We have counseling, we have case management. We also have some other resources that I can help you with. So I do think that counseling could be beneficial for you.
Mm-hmm.
So does it sound like something you want to move forward with?
Well, I gotta try something different at this point, so might as well give it a shot. So yeah, I'll take all the resources I can get.
Okay, I think we can put some things in place for you here. So how about we set up a time for you to get started with your first counseling session?
Okay.
And we do have, we take counseling appointments Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 9 and noon. Would any of those days and times work for you?
I don't work Fridays, so Fridays would be fine, maybe 10 o'clock if you had something around that.
Okay, I know next week, Friday, I do have a 10 o'clock available. So
Okay.
I can go on and put you down for that. And so that's next Friday
Mm-hmm.
at 10 o'clock here in my office.
Okay.
And do you have any questions for me? Or
No, that's easier than I thought it was going to be. So.
yeah? Okay, well, that makes me happy that you didn't find it as difficult.
Yeah.
So that's good. Well, okay, Billy, again, it was a pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to seeing you on next week.
All right. Thank you.
You are so welcome.